Hello everyone, this is part 9 on Introduction to Scratch Programming, and in this video we are going to look upon operators blocks in Scratch. So let's start with the first block. So as you can see, the first block here is addition. So you add two numbers like that. I take 56 and 78, and when I click on that it gives me the sum. Similarly, we have subtraction, multiplication, division, and I hope you know about them. Now let's come to our fifth block here, which is pick random 1 to 10. So this pick random 1 to 10 block here is completely depending on the computer. So what it does is the computer picks a random value between 1 to 10. So like when I click that, it tells me 3. When I click that, it told me 1, 6, 3, 6, 6, 5, 6, 2, 7, 9, 9, 6, 9, 10, like that. And you can also change the values to like 100, then it told 27, 58, 36, 23, 29, 54, 1, like that. And you can also shift that to minus 100 and it will tell you minus 39 there, minus 78, minus 85, 72, 46, minus 80, minus 92, 14, and so on. You can also add in a decimal value like 2.4. So it will start giving you decimal values too. So like 86.64571195 and so on. So this completely depends on the computer, what value does it take, and it shows us the result like that. And you can use this block to make calculations for the user, like the maths game, or to make a calculator in Scratch, like that. And now let's come to the next three blocks, as I have been discussing about them in the last two videos. I hope you are learning about them, and these are very simple blocks, as I'll say like 23. I'll say here to 23, and here I'll say 23. So now look at these blocks and tell me the answer. So the answer for the first block here will be false, as 23 is not greater than 50. So when I click that, it tells me false. And as 23 is less than 50, so it will tell me true. And here, as 23 is not equal to 50, it will tell me false. So I click that, it told me false. I can also select like pick random, like 1 to 100 here, and you can use like that, false, 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 false. So there is a very little bit probability to get it true there. And I think it's very simple about these 8 blocks here. And now let's come to the next 3 important blocks. So these are little bit confusing and you might get some problem to understand them, but I'll explain you. See, first of all, let's take touching mouse pointer and mouse down. So what will happen here is, it will check that whether my mouse is touching the cat and also the mouse is down. I told you mouse down means when I click on the mouse and my mouse is down there. So I can put that in a if statement there, I'll have to put that here as it is a Boolean statement. So let's grab a forever loop here and let's take when green flag clicked, and we can also take something like play sound until done. So when I go there, then whenever I'll click on the cat, then observe what happens. The cat says meow and it plays the sound until done. So that's how it's going to work. So let's understand about and. So and what it does is it checks both the conditions. If it is true, only then the condition would work. So as it is false, it won't work. So that is how you can make use of them. So I hope you have understood about and let's look on this or here. So let me tell you that or looks at any of the condition is true. That means if my mouse is down, then also it will work, and even if I am touching the cat, also then it will work. So let me show you. Whenever I'll touch the cat or I'll click the mouse, then it would play the sound. So like, and when I click the mouse there, it would still work. So that's how it works. So let us understand about or. So or what it does is it checks that whether any of the condition given to it from the two is true. So this is little bit confusing, but later on you will gradually understand that. So I have another easy way to show you how to make you understand. So as you will read this in a go, then it would tell you that touching mouse pointer or mouse down. Then let's read from here. If touching mouse pointer or mouse down, then play sound until done. So if you read this, you will understand that if it is touching the mouse pointer or the mouse is down, then too it would work. And this is the same case with and. Let me show you there. So when you read that in a go, then it will tell you if touching mouse pointer and mouse down, then play sound. So what it does is it will check both the condition given to it, and only then it would work. So now I hope you have understood about the and or blocks. So now let's look upon this not block here. I have put mouse down in this here, and let's see what happens. So as you will see that whenever I am not clicking the mouse, the cat says meow, and it does until the mouse is not down. So when I put the mouse down, then it won't work. So as you can see, it is not working now as my mouse is down. When I leave it, it starts again. So let me tell you that as mouse down, whenever I'll click the mouse, then it would be true. Then what not does is it reverses the statement. So now if it's false and now I'll put it in not, then when I click on that, it will tell me true. So not is used to reverse the statement. So that is how we use not. So now let's come to the next blocks. I hope you have understood the blocks till now, and let's go to the next block here, which is join apple and banana. So when I click that, it shows me apple banana. I can also replace that by like hello world, and when I click that, it tells me hello world. So that's how it works. What it does is it joins and combines both the statements given to it. You can also add this variable here, and let's say it is showing 0 world as this variable's value is 0. So this is how join works. If you want to something like, if you are making a game, and lastly if you want the score to be shown, what you can do is you can use this join to say like your score is, and if you have made a variable named score, then what it will do is when I put that here, then it will show me that your score is 0. So like that, if you make a variable and use that here there, then it will be a lot more easier for the user to understand than to simply telling the variable there, that is score. So when you do that like that, then it would be very helpful for you to display your variables there. So I hope you have hopefully understood about join here. And now let's look upon the next block here, which is letter 1 of apple. So this might be a little bit confusing to you now, but when you understand this will be a lot more easier. So what is this letter 1 of apple? So when I click that, it tells me A, as apple has 5 characters in that, and the first character here is A. So the letter 1 of apple will be A. So as you can see, it shows me A, and when I replace that with 5, then it will tell me E, as the last character here is E. I can also make that like red, and when I click that, it will show me nothing, as the 5th character here is nothing. I'll need to put that to 3. It will tell me D. So you can also use something like your name is XYZ, and when I click that, as you can see, it will tell you U, as the 3rd letter here is U. If you make that 5 there, then as the 5th character here is space, then it would tell you space, nothing there. So this is pretty simple to understand now, as you have understood about the letters here. And now we will look upon a similar block, which is length of apple. So it shows me 5. So what is length? Length is the number of characters in it. So as apple has 5 characters, so the length of apple is 5. As simple as that. And let's tell that it shows false. So let's look upon this. Apple contains A. Yeah, apple contains A, as the first letter of apple is A. So it will tell you true. And if you use something like X, then it would tell you false, as apple doesn't have any character called X in it. So that is very simple there. I hope you have understood about these 4 blocks here, and they are very pretty easy to understand, and they are going to be used in every of the programming language you are going to learn. And now let's look upon this mod here. So what is mod? Mod is when you divide two numbers and what the remainder comes, not the quotient but the remainder, that becomes the mod. So like when I use 45 and I'll use here 4. So when you divide 45 by 4, so the nearest calculation will be of 44, and so the remainder will be 1. So when I click that, the answer should be 1. So as you can see, the answer is 1. So as you can understand that mod will tell you about the remainder when you divide. So that's how mod works, and this is going to help you from now when you will be making cards game like that. And now let's look upon this round here. So if you have learned about round, then it would be easy for you to understand this, as round is the rounding of any decimal number. So like when I use 3.56, so the midpoint between 3 and 4 is 3.5, right? So as 3.56 is greater than 3.5, therefore the rounding off will be 4. As you can see, the round off is 4. I can also use like 3.1, then the rounding off here will be 3. So it works for a decimal value and it goes to the nearest whole number value. Whole number, or you can say any integer, because you can also use that in minus form there, like minus 3.5. It will show you minus 3, like that. So I think you have understood about round here. And now let's look upon the last block here, but it is very complicated here, and if you don't understand, then leave that, as it is not much important now. But as you grow up and you will learn about trigonometry and all that, then you will start understanding this. So let me tell you that first of all, let's start with the first option here, that is absolute value. So what is absolute value? Absolute value is a number's positive value. So like if I take 3 here, let me take 3. So the absolute value as the positive number of 3 is 3, as 3 is a positive number, so it will tell you 3. And when you take minus 3, then it will tell you 3, as the minus 3, as the positive value of minus 3 is 3. So it will tell you 3. It would ignore the sign there. So that's how the absolute value here works. So now let's look upon the next option, that is floor. So floor is used for decimal values. Let me put that like 1.43. So the floor is the whole integer value which is less than that, very close to it, and which is less than that. That means that the floor of 1.43 would be 1, as when you round off that, so floor, what it does is, floor and round block here has a difference in them, that round off goes to the most nearest integer value. So but floor, what it does is, it goes to the nearest integer, but the number which is less than what we give here, like 1.43. so the nearest value to 1.43 will be 1. So if I take 4.8, then to the floor of 4.8 would be 4. So this might be a little bit confusing, but gradually you will understand about them. And just the opposite to that is the ceiling value. So the ceiling value would be 5 here. So what ceiling value does is it goes to the nearest whole number or the integer, but it would go to the number which is greater than that. So if I take here like 7.1, then to the ceiling of 7.1 would be 8. So this is how it works. I know it's little bit confusing, but you will understand about them later. So now let's look upon square root. I hope you know about square root there, as the square root of 4 would be 2. The square root of 16 would be 4, and the square root of like 625, it would be 25, like that. So let's come on to the trigonometric values, which are called sine here. So sine, what it does is when you draw or you make a right angle triangle, so the perpendicular and the hypotenuse, the division of the perpendicular by the hypotenuse is called sine. You will understand about sine there in class 10th or 11th, like that, or in some cases in class 9th, but you will learn about that, as sine of 0 is 0 and sine of 90 would be 0. No, it's 1, yeah. And now let's look upon this cos here. So cos is what, when you make the right angle triangle, so the base value divided by the hypotenuse value is cos. So it will give me 0, as the cos of 90 is 0 and the sine of 90 is 1. So I got a little bit confused. So there, and now let's look upon this tangent there. So what is tangent? Tangent is in the same right angle triangle, when you make that, the perpendicular the value of the perpendicular divided by the base is called tangent. So the tangent of 90 is infinity or not defined, and when I take the tangent of 0, it would give me 0. So these are used in trigonometry, and these you will learn in class 10th, 11th and 12th. So no need to check that now. I know that these last 2-3 blocks are little bit confusing to you, but when you grow up and you go in higher classes, you will learn about them. So that's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, then give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, then subscribe it now. And if you have any doubts, then write in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.